I want to say something. I've been trying to be more honest lately, so I just want to say a few things. I did the co-walk. I did it. Michael, you couldn't even do that. Maybe I should be your boss. Wow, I feel really good right now. Why didn't any of you come to my art show? I invited all of you, and none of you came. And that sucked. And it's like, sometimes some of you act like I don't even exist. Jim, I called off my wedding because of you, and now we're not even friends. And things are like really weird between us, and that sucks, and I miss you. You were my best friend before you went to Stanford. There were a lot of reasons why I shouldn't have been with Roy and to call off my wedding, but the truth is, I didn't care about any of those until I met you. And now you're with someone else, and that's fine, it's whatever, it's really not what I'm trying to. Wow, my feet really hurt right now. I guess what I'm just trying to say to you, Jim, and to everyone else in the circle, I guess, is that I miss you. And I miss having fun with you. Just you, not really anyone else in the circle. Right. Okay. I am gonna go walk in the water now. Yeah, it's a good day.
What were you gonna say? Let me guess. I'm just a kid? That's what it always boils down to, isn't it? But just like any other human on this planet, I do have feelings. Yes, I do. I feel pain. I feel sadness, and sometimes I feel like my life's not worth anything. But I'll always be too young to understand, right? Well, then tell me something. When are my feelings going to count for something? When is my life going to mean something? If us kids really are just kidding ourselves and we don't experience any true emotions, then why is it that so many adults are screwed up because their childhood was a mess? You know why? Because they did feel something. It's because nobody bothered to pay attention to them because their feelings weren't real. It happened to you. So why are you letting it happen to me? You're no different than your mother. And her mother before her. You're just like everyone else, continuing this vicious cycle. When is it gonna stop, Mom?
Shut up, and shut up, okay? Who are you guys to give me advice on anything? All you do is bitch about your relationships all day long. Glare at me all you want, big dog, okay? Because I'm not afraid of you. Oh no, Jordan's only paying attention to the baby. That must be so hard for Dr. Look at me, isn't it? Look at me. And you two. You've been arguing ever since you guys got engaged. Wow, you must be the first couple to do that ever. Can't just be because you're scared, is it? And you. Let's just forget for a second that a month ago you told me you couldn't be in a relationship with anyone. Because for me, it's actually fun watching you sabotage a relationship from the outside. It really is. Honestly, the only thing that gives me comfort, you guys, is that while I'm at home, sitting on the couch, staring at the ceiling, wishing that I had someone to talk to, is knowing that none of you idiots realize how lucky you are.
Means something to who? You had a career before the third comic book movie, before people began who was inside that bird costume. You were doing a play based on a book that was written 60 years ago for 1,000 rich old white people whose only real concern is gonna be where they're gonna have cake and coffee when it's over. And nobody gives a shit but you. Let's face it, Dad. You're doing this not because of the sake of art. You're doing this because you want to feel relevant again. Well, guess what? There's a whole world out there where people fight to be relevant every single day, and you act like it doesn't even exist. Things are happening in a place that you willfully ignore, a place that has already forgotten about you. And, I mean, who the hell are you? You hate bloggers. You make fun of Twitter. You don't even have a Facebook page. You doing this because you're scared to death, like the rest of us, that you don't even matter. And you know what? You are right. You don't. It's not important. You are not important. Get used to it. Dad.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us, even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, and the story ends. You wake up in your bed and you believe what you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all that I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So, okay. Like right now, for example, the Haitians need to come to America. But some people are all, what about the strain on our resources? But it's like when I had this garden party for my father's birthday, right? I said RSVP because it was a sit-down dinner. But people came that like did not RSVP. So I was like totally bugging. I had to haul ass to the kitchen, redistribute the food, and add in some extra place settings. But at the end of the day, it was like the more the merrier, right? And so if the government can just get to the kitchen and rearrange some things, we can certainly party with the Haitians. And in conclusion, may I please remind you that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty?
You're spending what? $20, $30 a week on cigarettes? $53 a week on cigarettes? Come on! Would you give someone that much money each week to kill you? Because that's what you're doing by paying for the so-called privilege to smoke. It's that kind of mentality that allows the cancer-producing industry to thrive. Of course we're all going to die someday, but do we have to pay for it? Do we actually have to throw hard-earned dollars on the counter and say, please, Mr. Merchant of Death, sir, please, give me something that will stick up my breath and my clothes and fry my lungs? And here's the part of the speech where he's just going to say that he's doing his job by following orders. Friends, let me tell you about another group of hate mongers that were following orders. They were called Nazis. Yeah, and they almost wiped an entire nation of people off this earth, just like your cigarettes are doing now. You want me to leave. Why? Because someone's finally telling it like it is? Someone's giving these fine people a wake-up call? I'm a disturbance. You're the disturbance, pal. And you know what? Here, now I am a customer. I'm going to buy some Chuli's gum. I'm a customer. Engage in discussion with the other customers.
My name is Happy Gilmore. And ever since I was old enough to skate, I loved hockey. Wasn't the best skater, though. But that didn't stop my dad from teaching me the secret to the best slap shot. Yeah, my dad, he worshipped hockey. My mom didn't. That's why she moved to Egypt, where there's not a single hockey rink within 1,500 miles. My dad would always take me to games to cheer on our favorite player, Terry O'Reilly, the Tasmanian Devil. He wasn't the biggest guy in the league, but he feared no one, just like me. Handsome fella, huh? He always said that when I grow up, I could be anything I wanted to be. But I never wanted to be anything besides a hockey player. Yeah, my childhood was going pretty great. Unfortunately, life's full of surprises. After the funeral, I was sent to live with my grandmother in Westbury. I was kind of nervous because I didn't know her very well, but she dressed up like Gene Simmons from Kiss and just to cheer me up. She's the sweetest person in the whole world. After my dad died, I kind of developed a short fuse. See that kid over there? He just stole my party blower. And instead of asking for it back, I felt the need to bash him in the head a bunch of times with a hammer. Look at me go. But I was always really quick to say I'm sorry. In high school, I joined the hockey team. And I still hold 2 league records. Most time spent in the penalty box, and I was the only guy to ever take my skate off and try to stab somebody. And then after high school, I got a bunch of different jobs. I was a road worker, a janitor, a gas station attendant, and a plumber. Lately, I've been doing construction. It's not a bad racket, and I'm a pretty good shot with a nail gun. But one time, my boss, Mr. Larson, he kind of got in the way. I guess he also has a short fuse. Whew, look at that monster. I think he got a few lucky punches in there, but I definitely won the fight. Anyways, all those other jobs aren't for me. I was put on this earth for one reason: to play hockey.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again and expecting shit to change. I don't know, when the first person who told me that said that, I thought he was bullshitting me, so boom, I shot him. But the next thing you know, everywhere I looked, fucking pricks, everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing over and over and over and over and over again, and thinking, no, this time, things are gonna be different. This time, shit's going to change. I'm sorry, I don't like the way you're fucking looking at me, okay? Do you think I'm fucking crazy? Do you think there's something wrong in my head? Alright, well, fuck you! Fuck you! I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill, hermano. You see, the thing is, I already killed you once. And it's not like I'm fucking crazy, alright? Did I ever tell you about the definition of insanity?
Now, a staple of the superhero mythology is there's the superhero, then there's the alter ego. Batman is actually Bruce Wayne, Spider-Man is actually Peter Parker. When that character wakes up in the morning, he's Peter Parker. He has to put on a costume to become Spider-Man. And it is in that characteristic alone that Superman stands by himself. Superman didn't become Superman. Superman was born Superman. When Superman wakes up in the morning, he's Superman. Clark Kent is the alter ego. The costume with the big red S, that's the blanket that Kents found him in when he was a baby. Those are his clothes. And what the Kents wear, the glasses, the business suit, that's the costume. That's the costume Superman wears to blend in with us. And what are the characteristics of Clark Kent? He's weak, he's a coward, he's unsure of himself. Clark Kent is Superman's critique on the whole human race.
I saw you sitting over here by yourself. I thought, thank God, someone normal who doesn't know how to interact with these things either. I can't tell you how happy I am to hear that you don't ever know what to say. I mean, I don't mean I'm happy that you're uncomfortable. I just mean, I'm such a loser. Every time I come to a party, I tell myself I'm going to be different, and then it always ends exactly the same, and I hate myself after for being such a clod. But maybe we're the normal ones, I mean, what kind of people do well at this stuff? I'm Clementine. Can I borrow a piece of your chicken? Oh God, how horrid. You should try Xanax. I mean, it's a chemical and all, but it works. And it works just by having it around, knowing that it's there. Like insurance. Have you ever read Anna Akhmatova? Really? Me too. I don't meet people who even know who she is, and I work in a bookstore. Do you know her poem that starts, "Seaside gusts of wind and houses in which we don't live"? I love that poem. It breaks my heart. Look, houses in which we don't live. I wish we did. You married? Let's move into this neighborhood. So, Joel, no jokes about my name?
I had heard that your life flashes before you seconds before you die. First of all, that second isn't a second at all. It stretches on forever, like an ocean of time. For me, it was lying on my back at summer camp, watching falling stars, or the yellow leaves from the maple trees that lined our streets, or my grandmother's hands that felt like paper. And the first time I saw my cousin Tony's brand new Firebird. And Janie. Oh, and Janie. And Carolyn. I guess I should be pretty pissed off about what happened to me. But it's hard to stay mad when there's just so much beauty in the world. Sometimes it fills me up all at once, and I feel like a balloon that's just about to burst. But then I remember to relax and try not to hold on to it. And then it flows through me like rain. And I can feel nothing but gratitude for every single moment of my stupid little life. You have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm sure. But don't worry. Someday, you will.
I have found almost everything I've ever written about love to be true. Shakespeare once said, "Journeys end in lovers' meetings." What an extraordinary thought. I have personally never experienced anything even remotely close to that, but I am more than willing to believe that Shakespeare had. I guess I think about love more than anyone really ever should. I'm just consistently amazed by its sheer ability to change and alter our lives. Shakespeare also said, "Love is blind," and that I know to be true. For some, love is quite inexplicably, it just fades. For others, it's simply lost. But it can be found, even if it's just for the night. And then there's another kind of love. The cruelest kind, one that practically kills its victims. It's called unrequited love, and of that, I am an expert. Most love stories are about people that fall in love with each other. But what about the rest of us? The cursed of the loved, the unloved. We are the victims of a one-sided affair. The handicap without the advantage of a great parking space. Yes, you are looking at one such individual. And I have willingly loved that man for 3 miserable years, the absolute worst years of my life. The worst Christmases, the worst birthdays, New Year's Eve brought in by tears and Valium, all because I am cursed to love a man who cannot and will not love me back. Oh God, just the sight of him. Heart pounding, throat thickening, absolutely can't speak. All the usual symptoms.
I want to talk to you about life. It's just too difficult to live, isn't it? Try to function. There's all these people you have to deal with. Like the other day, I was in the supermarket trying to buy a can of tuna fish, and there was this person standing in front of where I needed to reach over and grab the tuna fish. So I waited to see if they'd move, and they didn't. They were looking at the tuna fish too, but they were reading each ingredient on the can like it was some kind of book or something. Pretty boring book if you ask me, but nobody has, so. I waited a long while, and they didn't move, and I needed to get to the tuna fish cans. And I thought about asking them to move, but I had this awful fear that it would do no good at all. They'd probably say something like, "I'll move when I'm goddamn ready, you nagging bitch." And what would I do then? So I started to cry out of frustration, quietly, so no one would hear me. And even though I was softly sobbing, this stupid person didn't sense that I needed to get by them, so I reached over with my fist and I slammed it down hard on his head and I screamed, "Would you kindly move, asshole?" And he fell to the ground.
What makes you such an expert on who I am? I tried to kill you, Caroline. Not exactly BFF material anymore. You should move on. This annoying, clingy thing that you're doing, did it ever occur to you maybe that's why both your boyfriends skipped town? I mean, I know Tyler said that he was running for his life, but maybe he was running from you. And Klaus? I mean, let's just say it. Nobody likes a tease. Hey, I'm not judging. Might be nice to have a bad boy ruffle those perfect little feathers. Are you seriously talking about high school graduation? Caroline, do you realize how pathetic you're gonna look pretending to be human while your mom fake smiles and just counts down the minutes until you leave town so that you can stop being a reminder that her daughter is a repulsive, blood-sucking, control freak monster? It's too bad Stefan stopped me before I put you out of your misery. But hey, here's to second chances.
Well, actually, the trick to falling asleep is trying to stay awake. You see, when my mom was an intern, she used to work late through the night and sleep through the day. So the only time we'd ever be able to talk was when she got home. So what I'd used to do, I used to lie awake in my bed and try and stay awake as long as I could, but it would never work. Because the harder I tried, the faster I'd fall asleep. But sometimes she would come home early and I'd pretend to be asleep. She'd just stand in the doorway looking at me and I'd just keep my eyes shut. I know she just wanted to find out about my day, but she came home just to talk to me, but I still wouldn't move. I'd still pretend just to be asleep. I don't know why I did that.
So the first time was when I was at boarding school in the chemistry lab. I was in there cleaning it up and I decided I'd do a little experiment. So I took all the stuff out, began mixing it up. It was very scientific. But there was this massive explosion. It knocked me down, blew out a huge hole in the floor. There were boards and bricks and flames leaping up. And I figured, time to leave. My career in school was over. So I went home. My mother was having a party. So I went right up the back stairs into my room, turned out the lights, and got this funny feeling. The doorbell rang, and so I went out to the banister. 2 policemen came in, found my mother, and told her that I was killed in the fire. She reached one hand to her forehead, the other, she reached out sort of groping for support, and this long sigh. She collapsed in their arms. I decided then that I enjoyed being dead.
Why were you talking to Janice Ian? She is so pathetic. Let me tell you something about Janice Ian. I was best friend with her in middle school. I know, right? It's so embarrassing. Whatever. Then in 8th grade, I started going with my first boyfriend, Kyle, who was totally gorgeous, but he moved to Indiana, and Janice was really jealous of him. Like, if I blew her off to hang out with Kyle, she'd be like, why didn't you call me back? And I'd be like, why are you so obsessed with me? So then for my birthday, it was an all-girls pool party, and I was like, I can't invite you, Janice, because I think you're a lesbian. I mean, I couldn't have a lesbian there. Girls gonna be in their bathing suit. I mean, right? Then her mom called my mom and was like yelling at her. It was so retarded. Then in the fall, when we started high school, all her hair was cut off. And she was totally weird. Now I think she does heroin.
I'm very angry. Angry Bobby Newport will hold this town hostage and threaten to leave if you don't give him what he wants. It's despicable. Corporations are not allowed to dictate what a city needs. That power belongs to the people. Bobby Newport and his daddy would like you to think that it belongs to them. I love this town, and when you love something, you don't punish it. You fight for it. You take care of it. You put it first. As your city councilor, I will make sure that no one takes advantage of Pawnee. If I seem too passionate, it's because I care. If I come on too strong, it's because I feel strongly. And if I push too hard, it's because things aren't moving fast enough. This is my home, and you are my family. And I promise you, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, pal. Jesus, there you go, trying to pass the buck. I'm the source of all your misery. Who closed the store to play hockey? Who closed the store to go to a wake? Who tried to win back his ex-girlfriend without even discussing how he felt with his present one? You want to blame somebody? Blame yourself. I'm not even supposed to be here today. You sound like an asshole. Jesus, nobody twisted your arm to be here. You're here of your own volition. You like to think the weight of the world rests on your shoulders, like this whole place would fall apart if Dante wasn't here. You overcompensate for basically having a monkey's job. You push fucking buttons. Anybody can waltz in here and do our jobs, but you like to make it seem so much more epic, so much more important than it really is. Christ, you work in a convenience store, Dante. Badly, I might add. I work in a shitty video store. Badly as well. You know, that guy Jay's got it right, man. He has no delusions about what he does. Us, we like to make ourselves seem so much more important than the people who come in here and buy a paper or, God forbid, cigarettes. We look down on them as if we're so much more advanced. Well, if we're so advanced, what are we doing working here?
I think you're ready to hear a little story about a girl named Megan who didn't have a really nice time in high school. I'm referring to myself when I say Megan. It's me, Megan. I know you probably look at me now and think, boy, she must have breezed through high school. Not the case, Annie. This was not easy, going up and down the halls. People used to try to blow me up. They threw firecrackers at my head. Firecrackers, literally. I'm not saying that figuratively. People threw firecrackers at my head. They called me a freak. You think I let that stop me? You think I went home crying to my mommy, oh, I don't have any friends. Oh, Megan doesn't have any friends. No, I did not. You know what I did? I pulled myself up. I studied really hard. I read every book in the library, and now I work for the government. And I have the highest possible security clearance. Don't repeat that. I can't protect you. I know where all the nukes are, and I know the codes. You would be amazed. A lot of shopping malls. Don't repeat that.
That's just the attitude we don't need. Sure, Mohawk has beaten us 12 years in a row. Sure, they're terrific athletes. Hell, they've got the best equipment money can buy. Every team they're sending over here is their own personal masseuse. Not masseur. Masseuse. But it doesn't matter. You know, every Mohawk competitor has electrocardiogram, blood and urine testing every 48 hours to make sure there's no change in his physical condition. You know that they use the most sophisticated training methods from the Soviet Union, East and West Germany, and the newest Olympic power, Trinidad and Tobago. But it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I tell you, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And even if we win, ha! Even if we win, even if we play so far over our heads that our noses bleed for a week to 10 days, even if God in heaven above comes down and points his hand at our side of the field, even if every man, woman, and child held hands together and prayed for us to win, it just wouldn't matter, because all the really good-looking girls will go out with the guys from Mohawk because they've got all the money. It just doesn't matter if we win or lose.
Hi, I'm Dexter, and I'm not sure what I am. I just know I have this darkness inside of me. I hide it, and I certainly don't talk about it, but it's there, always, this dark passenger. And when he's driving, I feel alive, half sick with the thrill of complete wrongness. I don't fight him. I don't want to. Because He's all I got. Nothing else could love me. Not even, especially not me. Or is this just a lie that the dark passenger tells me? Because lately, I have these moments where I feel connected to something, someone, and it's like the mask is slipping, and things, people that didn't matter before are suddenly mattering, and it scares the hell out of me.
By honesty or reality, because in fact I was too much of a coward to go and see my sister on June 1940. I never made that journey to Balham. So the scene in which I confess to them is imagined, invented. Any of that could have never happened because Robbie Turner died of septicemia on June 1st, 1940. And I was never able to put things right with my sister Cecilia because she was killed on the 15th of October by the bombs that destroyed the gas and water mains of Balham 2 station. So my sister and Robbie were never able to have the time together they so longed for and deserved, and which ever since I've always felt I prevented. But what sense of hope or satisfaction could a reader derive from an ending like that? So, in the book, I wanted to give Robbie and Cecilia what they had lost out on in life. I'd like to think it wasn't weakness or evasion, but a final act of kindness I gave them. Their happiness.